Hello there, you degenerates. Make sure you guys check out comedypowerhour.ptix.com, where Rizman, the Big Dick Malaysian, Prakash Daniel, the Indian Jesus, and the Great Rakib will be performing live comedy on 1st of October 2021, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's only 20 ringgit, so make sure you grab your ticket. It's gonna worth it. Trust me, these guys will deliver, and God knows how much we need laughter right now. Now, please enjoy the rest of the talk.
I don't think anybody really knows what the hell they're doing. I think they're just faking it until we make it, and then everybody just fakes it until they die. That's all life is. You're faking it until you die.
Wow.
And then I realize when I walk out into the world and I look at the people who run the country, and I'm like, oh, fuck, they're doing the exact same thing.
Exactly. Now you get it. Now you have perspective. Now you know how it feels like to be prime minister.
I learned this too late in life.
That's what your parents did.
Yeah.
That's what your grandparents did. All of them. Everybody are faking it until they hope they get into somewhere that people just think that they know their shit.
I mean, that's going to be the title of today's podcast, people. Faking it until you make it or you die, basically.
Yeah. Wow, this goes with a theme that I've been going through in the past couple of days. I'm listening to David Foster Wallace.
Okay, yeah.
The writer of Infinite Jest.
Yes.
Who committed suicide, and which I didn't know he committed suicide, but it was oddly enough that when I saw his image, when I saw his interview and the way he was talking, something about me was going like, this guy is definitely a suicidal case. And then I searched his name and I was like, oh, he did commit suicide. And the whole thing is about that your attempt in your life to basically, like, the idea is that there are some promises that they give to you in this world, and then once you actually try to achieve them, or you do achieve them, you realize that's not really it. That you're still the same person, and nothing's really changed.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I lost my job, when I was retrenched earlier this year, I thought that the job had pounded me down so much that it had sort of like wrecked my life a little bit. And I figured that once I left the job, my life would just sort of magically improve, like pulling out weeds out of a pot and seeing the plant suddenly revitalize because there's not this extra thing that's sucking up the nutrients from the ground that you're growing in. But days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, months turn into half a year. And by the time I was done, I realized, oh, no, I'm the piece of shit. I'm the one who I might be the problem here. So, yeah.
It's like that meme that says when you clean your room and the only trash that's left, it's you.
Yeah, it feels that way. And that links back to this idea of how they tell you life is going to be a certain way if you do certain things. And you probably figured out or guess that your life is going to go a certain way if you stop doing certain things or if you pursue certain things. And that's been true for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, I got a job, kept it for 5 years until a fucking pandemic wiped out half the economy. And I made some friends and I joined a comedy scene and I made even more friends. And so every time I've taken a step forward into a risk, good things have happened. But it's also this thing of where you don't fundamentally change much. But all you're doing is just, changing the circumstances around you to make it better. But if you feel like the circumstances around you are going to change you, that's not going to happen, I think.
It has to be very extreme. That's what I think. I think like the circumstances, like you need to like experience like war and hunger for a long time, like something to an excessive extent, to almost purity of the experience itself, that you're gonna have to face hunger for a long time or go to a battle and fight for your life to have that kind of a metamorphosis, for example. Because I was also under the impression that maybe by by taking the look, here's the thing. There is nothing bad about taking those risks. And actually it does make you as a person who thinks like you're a piece of shit, like you deal with your self-loathing and everything. And you think like, oh my God, I'm a horrible person.
Right.
Like I deal with that every day. I'm like, oh, you're a piece of shit. But it once you do it, it gives you a slight boost and you kind of bump up a little bit, just slightly better.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, it won't really change you to the max. But it's like, here's the thing. It's like the grind never ends. So it's like you have to constantly run away from the piece of shit that you're have to be. You think you are basically like the Bourdain was talking about. He said like, nothing would make me happier than to smoke weed and watch reruns of The Simpsons. But the thing is like,
yeah,
I know there's an inner hippie in me that I have to keep at bay.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if that's true for a lot of people. I don't know if it's true for a lot of people, but for people like you and I, and for some of the friends that we keep, that's definitely true. Like there's this ass clown part of us that we have to constantly beat down with a stick just so we can function.
Yeah.
I recall at one point, you know, I had lost like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
For the weight, right?
Yeah.
Over a year, which was kind of extreme, I guess. But the only reason it happened was because I had gone through so many terrible things in my life that at some point I realized that life is going to take everything away from you until you have no choice but to be yourself, right? And I think the weight loss was part of that. But once I got to that point, you know, the hurdles start happening to sustain what you've achieved. Everything comes back. The weight comes back. The health problems come back. The personal, relational problems start coming back. And I remember even at my best, at my fittest, at my healthiest, at my happiest, at my most productive, there was a little part of my brain telling me, you know, this isn't going to last, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I know the feeling. Yeah, there's a little part of you is like a fucking dead weight in your brain. It's like a corpse.
Yeah. Yeah, that little asshole part of your brain that's just telling you this is too happy. It's not normal. It's never gonna work.
I'm very afraid of that, and I'm really trying to. I'll be turning 27 soon enough. It's pretty soon actually, and so I'm trying to like go have some changes adapted into my life and myself personally too. Because I'm like, if I maintain the same mindset and the same thing with me at all times, past the age of 31, which is usually the milestone where you're pretty much done. You're whatever you could do with yourself, you're pretty much past it. It's over. You're gonna be the same other point of 31 onwards. Any experience you have, any quirk you have. It bothers me. I'm like, I'm better get rid of some of this stuff as much as I can. Because if I reach 31 and I maintain the same thing, like here's the thing, I can never really enjoy something. I despise the fact that part of myself. I can never really enjoy something because I can never have that moment that like I remember this particularly. My brother has the same as well. I remember we went for the graduation party, his graduation. Everybody were extremely ecstatic. Everybody were happy. He and I were the only people who were there like, what's to be happy about this? We weren't smiling. We were smiling because he was graduating, but we didn't share the same enthusiasm. Close to zero of the same enthusiasm. It was a matter of a stupid formality that we couldn't really just understand it. And or when I'm trying to like have a good time with people, my mind goes to something that's going to ruin it. It's like, you know, you're having a good time. I mean, I'm having a blast. I usually have a blast, but at the same time, my brain rushes into, okay, you know, 2 weeks from now, you're gonna do this and this and this, right? You know how you have all this ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
You have all this. Oh my God, you got work tomorrow. It's gonna really fuck it up, doesn't it? So the that the little turn of the stomach always happens, even when I'm with like my girlfriend or anybody. I can't be present and enjoy things. I desperately
Right.
try to be more and more present.
Right. 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 Right.
I don't want to be the
That
cranky
can,
old man who's never nothing like is the nothing makes him happy or satisfied.
yeah, that kind of sucks, doesn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not great. Because all you're doing is thinking about the future and how bad it's going to be rather than just appreciating the moment for what it is. I
Yeah.
think that's why you and I do comedy and then enjoy the hangouts afterwards because the present is unescapable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
here's the thing. You see, I did found one thing about it, and my brother mentioned about this about to me as well. I did find one source of it that he said we were talking about. He said like, there, look, you have a creative energy in your belly, and everybody has that, and that thing needs to be spent somehow.
Mm.
Now you can go jerk off, and that thing is bent. Work out, which all works, which is pretty
Right.
good to kind of calm it. But
Okay.
that's as far as it's gonna go. The rest of it is like you're gonna watch porn and watch movies and waste your time away. But that little energy is gonna get depressed.
Yeah.
Gonna sink down.
Yeah.
Experiences that, in my
Mm-hmm.
perspective, at least, that has given me that feeling that that energy is used, I've been the most happiest. And I can tell you, it has not been
Mm-hmm.
working on like I like working with computer and doing design and stuff, but it's not what I want to do. I don't want to be the guy in a
Sure.
company from 9 to 6. The concept of a 9 to 6, I've realized, is the most depressing thing in my life because it's like I'm selling a chunk of my time for.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
beginning to realize it too. Yeah.
it sucks, isn't it? It's like, oh my god, that contract
Yeah.
is basically telling me that you
Yeah.
have here's 9 to 6. I'm buying 9 to 6 from you. You're basically my bitch from then. And
Yeah.
then some companies would have the hustle culture where be like, okay, like even after
Yeah.
6 we'll be fucking with you. On the weekend we'll be fucking with you. And that's not gonna sit well with me.
Yeah.
I've found that the more creative stuff I do, I'm more happy. I found out that when that tickles the energy there in the stomach. It's very hippie terminology to use that term energy, but that
Sure,
has
sure.
really what it feels like, because I feel happy
Yeah.
at the end of the day. I feel like I'm walking on clouds. You go on the stage, and when you say a joke and you
Mm-hmm.
hear the first time I heard the first joke I said and I heard people laugh, I was like, shit, this is fucking awesome.
Mm.
There's just like a little
Yeah.
gasp. I was like, oh, they laughed. I found out the things that working with my hands are what makes me happy.
Mm.
Fucking
Yeah.
baking and the things that are a little bit more closer to analog stuff
Mm.
compared to superficiality of the work. You're feeling pretty unsatisfied with your job at the moment, and I can totally relate to you.
Yeah. I mean, look, not to disparage the people who work for the company,
No, of
right?
course, of
They're
course.
decent human beings all around. And the work is vital for people who need, you know, an education to do the jobs that they need to do. Now, I like to be told that what they're doing is getting an education. They like to be told that they're discovering or experiencing new strategic skills or tools or whatever the fuck. It's very pretentious, but I understand the fundamental point of it is that you got leaders who are willing to go out there and get some knowledge to actually do that work better. The whole thing is great. My main gripe is the idea of my mortality and the idea of how I can really feel my mortality when I work at a desk because admittedly when I had all the free time in the world I wasn't doing anything with it. I was in some kind of rut. I was languishing. But when I'm at a desk working, I can suddenly think about from this time from 8:30 to 5:30, this is time in my life I am never getting back. And yeah, at the very least, I'm making a bit of money out of it. I am allowing myself to pay my bills. But by right, I should be taking this time to improve myself, to fix whatever shit that's wrong with me, and to actually do things that, you know, I won't regret looking back.
Yeah,
Because the last thing I want is to lie on my deathbed and go, if only. That is the worst thing I can possibly imagine.
that is the worst thing for me. Is I'm not like my mother. We
Mm.
were having a conversation. I said I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of not living. That's what I'm afraid of. Not living the
Mm.
life that I have. Like
Yeah.
death is gonna happen. I can't really have any control. Nobody has any control over it. But the thing that I do have control on, not being able to actually do it properly, that scares the shit out of me. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I can relate to you. You're saying like he's like, oh my god, I should be using this to improve myself. I I have found a way to do that for myself during work. So when I do, sometimes there's times that are like a lack of tasks that you need to do. You feel like you're not being paid attention to,
Mm.
or at times you feel like you're being very useless.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Mm-hmm.
set things that I can do on the side that it was going
Mm-hmm.
to actually be beneficial toward me myself. That's how I try to manage it. And it trust me, I would recommend to you to see like, okay, I have a you're what do you do? You're a writer? You're a copywriter?
Yeah, I'm basically a copywriter in a marketing department. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. You see, like, okay, I have this task that is going to take me an hour to do or 2 hours to do, and I'm
Mm.
gonna finish that, and I'm gonna spend the rest of the time that I have between, say, like 11. Job starts at 9. I'll finish the task till 11. Take an hour break,
Mm-hmm.
jerk off, whatever I want to do, and
Sure,
then
sure,
I'll
sure.
just jerking off is very important. Yeah, a
I'm
little
going for
bit
a corporate wank. Yes,
a
yeah.
corporate a corporate quickie solo. And welcome, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, who the first bit of comedy
Yeah.
in this depressing
Yeah.
podcast. This is a real podcast. I actually love it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
then you just try to accomplish that task from 12:1 onward. I do
Yeah.
think because you have that constraint, that's what my experience been. And you have
Yeah.
there's somewhat of a blessing into doing something that you don't want to do, is that it only makes you think about the thing you want to do.
Right.
Your
That's
brain
true.
goes to
That's
that, like,
one thing that's actually helpful.
yeah, your brain immediately comes up with
Yeah.
that thing. I want to do this right now, and I'm doing this.
Yes. Yeah.
So I would suggest you use that, because I'm like trying to, I don't, you're trying to build portfolio, get a better job,
Right.
network a little bit more, polish some skills, or pick up a new skill that you always wanted to pick up on.
Yeah. So when I'm at work, I have this little to-do list, and basically I write down all the thoughts that I have during the day
Yeah.
when I'm trying to do work, and it serves two functions. Well, number one, it's to clean out all of the cache in my head that would otherwise be cluttered up. At which point I can't do any work. So all of the thoughts I want to have, but I don't have the time to do it right now, it all goes in the list, right? So I don't have to occupy brain space to sustain the thought. I don't have any anxiety over the thought being lost forever because I forgot about it. It's on the list. Number two, some of these thoughts are going to be useful. Some of these are ideas, some of these are tasks, some of these are aspirations, goals, dreams, ambitions that I might forget when I have the free time.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be helpful. And another thing that I guess I could keep reminding myself of when I'm at work is the idea that I am here fundamentally to do two things. I am here to earn, and I am here to learn. Learn and earn. That is what I'm here to do. So I'm going to make some money and I'm going to keep away most of it so that when I finally eventually don't have this job anymore, worst case scenario, I have a little nest egg to sustain myself and to give myself the free time I always wanted. Number
Yeah.
one. And number two, whatever skills I have acquired from this job, I can then use for myself. Not for the company, not for my boss, but for myself. I realized, and I mentioned this on Sim's podcast, Sim's live stream, Sim
Mm,
Talk, that comedians are really shit at marketing themselves sometimes.
mm.
Like, we don't promote ourselves at all. It feels weird and gross, and we're so busy writing sometimes that we don't have enough time to actually tell people that we exist, or to tell us that our shows are a thing that are coming up. Which, by the way, I will plug a show that I and Prakash and Rizwan will be on
Nice.
at the beginning of next month. And as a thank you, and as a result, I'm hoping that the job will actually give me skills that I can use for myself and for my friends moving forward.
Yeah.
That would be something that would really make me happy. That all of these marketing skills that I'm picking up, I'll be able to use it for comedians and comedy shows and whatever it is that I want to pursue later on. So I hope that my time isn't just going to waste trying to survive. I'm
Yeah.
picking up skills and I'm making a little bit of money. I am learning and I am earning, and I have my list of ideas and thoughts and stuff that accumulate in my head while I work. And so all of this isn't going to go to waste. I just have to remember that I have all of these things that I'm doing. And if I can remember that I am doing all of these things, I won't feel as depressed. Sometimes I forget, which is why the job seems pointless and painful and unsatisfying. But if I can just remember, if I can just remind myself that this is what I'm doing, these are my goals, and this is what I'm gaining from this, I guess I won't feel so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. You need to have that in mind. And you mentioned like we're pretty bad at fucking marketing ourselves.
Mm.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking true. I mean,
Mm.
not in the case of like American
Mm.
comedians where like that's what they basically do all the time and they have the liberty to do that. I thought about like start TikToking, for example.
Mm.
And the idea of me trying to TikTok and put my
Oh,
face out there,
okay.
the idea of it was gross to me. I was like, the fuck am I want to talk about? And the fuck, like, I don't, the thing is like, I somewhat look down on the idea.
Mhm.
I somewhat look down on being a TikToker. I kind of might agree
Yeah.
with being a YouTuber, but the thing is like, I've been thinking about this kind of correlating with the time that I was with the recent discovery of David Foster Wallace.
Mm.
Because I was realizing how grossed out I am as an individual with my own generation.
Yeah, that's not easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily belong to my generation in that sense that it's like people my age or younger are all into that and it comes so easy for them. But for me, I look at that and I'm like, why would I want to engage in any sort of social media? Like, why would I want to dance for a bunch of people I don't know?
Yeah. Like, why would anybody give a shit about me or want to look at me? It's even gross to think that I would even have those thoughts about myself.
I even see it beneath myself. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, do I need you? Do I need that to? Why would I need that to be the thing that defines me? That's the thing. It's like I don't want the TikTok to be something that defines me. I don't want to be called an influencer. I don't want to start on that trend to be
Yeah.
that, which is what everybody now seems to be wanting to strive for. Either TikToking or YouTubing or Instagram modeling.
Mm.
Pretty much all the girls I know from my college are now like trying to be influencers or are influencers.
No, but I can understand feeling like you're not really part of your own generation because the zeitgeist feels so vapid and
Yeah.
shallow. And you can't find, or rather, it's just really hard to find a counterculture to all of the insipid, shallow vapidity of. Because it feels like the man has taken over and co opted even the most it's it feels like it feels like the man has taken over every single uh, possible avenue to rage against the machine.
Yeah,
You know
it
what I
feels
mean?
exactly like
Like,
that.
yeah, like let's take extremes for example. You got your so your social justice types on the left who are who then metastasize into SWJs of the worst kind because they get very cliquish against each other, and then they mob each other themselves, funded by corporations, or they have vested interests to make money off of their ideologies, or they align themselves with corporate interests or government interests that feels like you're just pandering to greater powers all over again. So it doesn't seem to matter where you go,
You're
as
fucked.
far as society. Yeah, you're fucked. What's the counterculture? How do you rebel when everything is now marketed, when everything is now controlled?
Like
I don't envy being a young person in this generation because there's no way to define yourself that isn't already a cliche.
yeah, that's the thing. There's no way to be unique, but not to be unique only, be truly distinguished in some manner. And like, Gary V.
Yeah,
Okay, that guy, in some senses, is a genius. He knows what
sure.
the market wants. He's very good at marketing. He's very good at advertising. He's always on top of
Yeah,
the new applications and trends and social medias and blah 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 blah. Okay. What he and people like him propagate are basically something that I almost puke at, because it's like, yeah, you have to hustle. I understand. You have to hustle for your life. That's
yeah,
100% true. But then there is this
yeah,
thing that is like this never ending list of things that you need to jump through, these little hula hoops that you have to
yeah,
just keep jumping through to get to where you
yeah.
want in life. You gotta wake like that. Like, I admire him in some sense, and I despise him because it's like, yeah, you gotta hustle. You gotta hustle. Hustle is
Yeah.
important. I
Yeah,
go. But he's all about
yeah,
that. But at the same time, it's like, get on TikTok and then do a podcast, then start a blog. Make sure you post it on Instagram. Have your Facebook updated at all times. And do this and do that and another thing and
yeah,
another thing. And it's like, what are you fucking talking about?
yeah,
What is this dance
yeah.
monkey dance
It's
thing that
it's
you're asking me to be a part of? Pull the fucking
yeah.
bricks, man.
There's very little substance because looking at stuff that already exists and then telling people go do those things
Yeah,
which have existed for a very long time. And whatever is new and whatever is trendy, you get on it. And that could be great if you have nothing but energy and all you do is work. That could be fine. So Gary Vee is fundamentally a marketing guru, right?
yeah,
Fundamentally. If you have something that you need to get out there, he's great if you have the time, energy, money, and patience.
yeah.
But he's not going to tell you what it is you're supposed to do with your life. And I think a lot of people confuse what the purpose of Gary Vee is for you. He's fundamentally a marketer,
Yeah,
and he's not a life coach. He's not a guru. He's not a spiritual leader. But people can't seem to sift the difference between those things apart.
yeah,
People, particularly weak-minded people, will gravitate towards anybody who's confident enough to talk passionately about what they're into. And unfortunately, you'll have a situation where any person, whether it's Tim Robbins, whether it's Gary Vee, they'll look at these people as sort of prophets of a way with which you live your life. And that's a very dangerous thing. It's a very dangerous thing to believe in.
they don't
You know?
tell you what you need to know to live a proper
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
They tell you what sounds good. there is merit to what they say, granted, if you
Yeah.
want some boost and motivation, but
Yeah.
if somebody has clues regarding how to live their life slightly, they won't really need that motivation to begin with. That's just been my experience with people.
Yeah, no. And also people forget that Gary Vee was is the son of a man who owned a bunch of wine shops. Like he didn't start from nothing.
Yeah.
He isn't successful merely on his own merits. He had a huge boost growing up. You
He
know,
had the
the
boost, but then
same
he had the brains to like move wine to social media and online, basically. That's what he had.
right.
Like
But
he has his wits.
sure. But it's not the same as somebody who has to start from scratch. It's not. But you have people who look at what he does and they don't see what he does as a means to tell you how to build yourself. Gary Vee may not even realize that what he's doing is stuff that you do to sustain what you already have and grow it. But if you start out with nothing, his advice isn't going to work yet.
Yeah.
I don't think so. You know.
The thing is, like, nobody tells you to
Also,
figure your own shit out a little bit.
yeah, it's not great. So on at work every Friday we got a book club.
Nice.
Okay, somebody comes up, yeah. So at the end of a Friday, we all delay the onset of the weekend because somebody read a book, and now we got to present a book that we read, usually nonfiction, usually business oriented. And one of us presented a book called The Slight Edge by a dude called Jeff Olson.
Mm.
Okay, and went at it for a very long time, extolling the virtues of this book. So I was curious, what's the big deal about this book, The Slight Edge? And yeah, it's got very high ratings and Goodreads, but it's the ratings are neither here nor there. They're either really, really glowing or they are really, really negative. There's nothing in between. And I thought that was a bit weird.
That's a red flag.
That's a bit of a red flag. So I figured, okay, the good reviews were very generic, so I couldn't garner anything out of him. Like this book is changed my life. The bad reviews were far more specific, though, and I thought that was interesting. And you could boil them all down to one thing, and it's the gist of this book is basically little changes over a long period of time eventually add up to major shifts towards the end, right? Little by little, every single day, eventually you're going to realize you've made big strides. That is not a revolutionary idea. That idea has existed in Western and Eastern philosophies for thousands of years. So the question is, did you really need an entire book to say that?
That's usually the theme of 90%
that
of the
gets-
books that are being published now. You see, they take the same shit, they just
Yeah.
rebrand it and give it to you.
Yeah. One of the things that annoys me about Gary Vee is that some of his advice is very, very generic. He's got a YouTube channel, and one of his hot takes is that if you don't know why you don't have enough money at the end of the month to start your passion, to start your business, to start to do what you're really doing, well, then maybe you shouldn't buy $10 coffees or $20 lunches or $50 dinners or spending it on like luxuries that you don't need. And I think to myself, and I'm like, this is some boomer shit, Gary. Like, seriously, this is some boomery, like old man whining about millennials with avocado toast kind of shit, right? Like, some people aren't splurging their money on luxuries. Some people literally work from paycheck to paycheck and then don't have enough at the end of the month to do shit that they want to do, let alone time, you know?
I know what you mean. Yeah, he does that. He talks about it. He posts. Here's the thing. He's gonna post content no matter what.
Yeah.
And he says like, you guys gotta, everybody has to do this.
Yeah.
And the thing is, for me, is like, I'm just hoping, like I was legit hoping for a counter movement towards that to happen, which is not really happening.
Right.
That can actually bring that movement of having that as a criteria for an individual down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
like he posts like, kindness is delicious, or be kind to one another. Or, yeah, he does all that. He posts shit.
Yeah. Really? Really?
Yeah, kindness is delicious is a famous one. Tim Dillon was talking about him.
For crying out loud.
He actually had a beef with the Gary Vee as well. He made a video about like, you can do whatever you want to do, and it cuts to Tim Dillon. Was like, I should kill the president. It twists me in a way that I'm like, I can't believe like that's like what I have to strive for. I need to be like, by my age, I need to know what every one of these fuckers are up to and do exactly what they do times 10 actually, because that's what's
Right.
really expected of me. But I can't, because I know I'll despise myself for the fucking lie that I would be putting out. There's this again,
And you know,
yeah,
but there is this thing of where ultimately what these dudes are doing is marketing for themselves.
pretty much.
Right? They're not trying to help you. They're advertising their own brand and making money off their own brand and what they say, what they do, and what they write. Right. So going back to the example I gave about how Gary Vee accuses people of not having enough money and time to do the things they want to do at the end of the workday because they're wasting it on things that they shouldn't need. I think to myself, yo, Gary, like people pay money to go to your seminars, right? Right. Money that they probably shouldn't be spending on things that they probably don't need.
Yeah.
Like these are really expensive, like talks and seminars. Like one of the things that they probably shouldn't be doing is going to you.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's like, you know why I think you feel so gross about doing the things that they tell you to do? You know why I think it is?
Why?
So I can't remember if this is true or not, but in Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune,
Yeah.
the Bene Gesserits, cool, okay. The Bene Gesserits describe knowing how when somebody is lying to them, when they get the sensation of feeling disgusted and wanting to turn away.
Yeah.
Right? That's how they pick up on it. And I think the reason why you feel gross is because deep down inside, you've got that Dune shit in you that goes, I feel wrong and I don't know why, because I think you're picking up on the con, but you're not conscious about it. Yeah, because it's like, if I do this, I'm going to be just as big a fraud as these dudes. I don't want to do this. I'm going to like,
I don't want to be a Logan Paul.
You're picking up.
Yeah, your instincts like pick up on it. I don't want to be a Logan Paul. I don't want to be a, what's it called? The Vitali.
Yeah.
And I think like a prime example of what is happening with us right now is there's this, you know what NFTs are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about that is that like I love what they are doing for the digital art. I really love it. But there is this amazing sense that I got from doing it. Is like, the thing is, there is this strange sensation of emptiness to those. That emptiness that you're handling at the moment does not have a value, but it does. The thing is, like, nowadays you hear somebody got $1 zillion for having 2 cryptocurrencies. Like, you know, the faggot kid who like in your school who's like an asshole just because he had that 2 pieces of information, two pieces of data, he managed to get it to that amount of price.
Yeah.
There is no basis. All of this platform, when you go into it, and there's like a picture of some guy, like just like a simple pixel art or a line drawing or a 3D cube being sold for $1 trillion. You kind of go like, oh my God, I'm missing out on this. But then you look at it and you're like, it's not based on anything. What
Yeah, it's
is
based on
what
bullshit.
is driving this? Like, somebody tell me,
Yeah,
why is that? Why, what makes, gives the right for this piece of, like, a legit 3D cube without any color or
yeah,
anything, was
yeah.
sold for a god knows how many $1,000s?
It's very weird, isn't it?
It's
The
weird.
psychology of hype.
And it's
It's
all by
bizarre.
hype, and the way it's actually being described about is that,
Yeah,
oh, if you want to find an NFT that actually sells, you go look at their Twitter and Discord account and their YouTube channels and see how many followers they have, and then judging by those, it's actually, you can determine if the price is gonna, the price is gonna go up, because people are now flipping NFTs.
oh, jeez, really?
And I understand it. I understand, like, okay, I get what's happening here, but at the same time, part of my brain is
Okay.
going like, I thought about, oh, I want to create NFTs, but another part of my brain goes like, which I am gonna actually create an NFT, and I have a brilliant idea about it. But the thing is, like, I realize my skills has deteriorated as a designer, so I need to really catch up on that. The thing is, it only works on your hype train. So even if you're Andy Warhol but don't have any follower and you don't have
Yeah,
any backing, you're basically
yeah,
nothing. You're fucking shit. I send you a
yeah.
text to your phone. Take a look at it. Me and my friend were discussing this, and we were a bit furious about the whole thing, as the fact that, going like, how is something suddenly determined to be priced this much? How?
Um, okay. For those of you who can't see what we're looking at right now,
Yes.
you don't understand how lucky you are. Basically, what I'm looking at right now is a black and white photo of two bananas on a lovely plate with natural lighting coming in from the side and a wad of jizz on the bananas. Okay. And the title of this shit is called Come Offering, which is very cheeky, I understand. But, and okay, I understand, okay, this is art, or maybe it's a troll, I don't know. It could be
It is
both.
a troll,
It can
because my
always be
friend
both.
is the one who made it.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Ah,
Oh, you mean to tell me,
I know the owner of that
man,
jizz.
you mean to tell me that you knowingly sent me a picture of your friend's jizz right now?
Yes, I did.
Man, fuck you.
King fuck
This
of
is
shit
not.
mountain.
Fuck off, man. Fuck off, man. I
King.
was king fuck of shit mountain. That's what you were. Oh my god.
King fuck of shit mountain at your service.
It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Your Majesty. Fuckface. Seriously? No, 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 no. The
Look.
best thing about this is the description, okay?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Read it out.
Come offering. I have a very healthy lifestyle. I work out 5 times a week with heavy weights and run 10 kilometers every Sunday. I also consume a healthy dose of vitamins D, E, and C on a daily basis. I play guitar and like to read fiction as a hobby. One of my favorite activities is baking pastries. I spend 30 baking pastries. I spent 30 minutes building up to the final ejaculation. As an unlockable, I'll mention the porn star I ejaculated to and the position that she was in. Oh my god! Oh, the audacity of this motherfucker.
Oh.
And
yeah.
there's a price. There's an Ethereum price.
How
Oh my
much?
goodness. It's at 1, so that's worth 3,920 US dollars.
Yeah.
So
For,
that's one.
ladies and
That's
gentlemen, think about
Ethereum
it. For
coin, I guess. I don't know.
$3,900, you can have,
I don't know how this shit works.
for the
All
price
I
of
know
one
is
Ethereum.
that a picture of your friend's jizz
Yes.
is selling at nearly 4,000 US dollars.
Yes, for $4,000, you can have a picture of my friend's jizz on a banana.
That is
Think
crying
about
out
it.
loud, man.
Like, come on, man, it's a fucking bargain.
Here's the thing: if he manages to sell this shit, he would have made more than I would have made in 4 months, right? And All because he just had the audacity to jizz on a bunch of bananas.
Yeah, that's basically how it is. The whole ordeal really happened because we were having a discussion, and there was a little bit of a feeling of being pissed off, genuinely, because like here's what was sold as a piece of art. I don't know how many minutes is it of one guy recorded his farts for a year and posted it as an NFT, and I think it was sold for $15,000. Okay.
Oh god, the display pic is the full color. It's even worse. It's even worse.
Yes. Yeah. You can okay, look, ladies and gentlemen, for $3,950, you can have a color picture of my friend's jizz on 2 bananas. Not 1 banana, mind you, 2 bananas. But
that's a substantial potassium offer.
Yeah.
Up on sale. That's pretty good.
Get some potassium.
NFT of
NFT, yeah. Some get your sodium up a little bit.
Yeah. He likes baking and he delivers batter. Obviously, that's great.
Exactly.
Oh, jeez.
The thing was that it really came out. I was about to do the same. I wanted to take a shit and put a fucking.
Oh, for crying out loud, man!
I wanted to do the same. I wanted to take a shit and then write with magic marker next to it NFTs and post it online. Because here's the thing, it was both of us were having a physical reaction to this whole concept that there's a considerable portion of whoever earned from this, my hat is off to you. God bless your soul. You know how it works.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just too dumb and bitter about it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like I'm not ruling out that I'm a dumb fuck. But at the same time, part of us is going like, how the fuck would that cube be sold for this much dollars? So if that's getting sold, if a cube is getting sold for $50,000, then I'm pretty sure my cum on 2 bananas is gonna be sold for the same amount.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. So I'm just looking it up. I'm trying to figure out what the hell. It was made by a digital artist called Pak at Sotheby's. Yeah. It's not a bad cube, but I'm pretty sure the average student from DigiPen knows how to make that cube in about about 5 minutes.
5 minutes, dude. It's 1 second. It's 1 button away.
What is?
You make that cube. It's just 2 clicks. That's it. Not even 5 minutes. It's gonna be less than 20 seconds from the time you launch the application to the time you actually make that cube. Maybe render it, which is gonna take an extra 2 seconds. It's gonna take about 20 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, so I recall discussions about Jackson Pollock, right? And how people were talking about how I could do this. Anybody could do this, right? Jackson Pollocks, you see them, anybody could do this. And then somebody interjected and says, yeah, but you didn't. And Jackson Pollock did. And he had the chutzpah to go out and actually sell it, which is why he gets the big bucks and you don't. So I suppose you could argue that the only thing that really matters when it comes to art is the willingness to do shit. Yeah. The audacity to like make a cube and then put a price on it, and then it becomes its own form of fiat currency or whatever. It is valuable because we say it is, and the first person to pay that much money for it establishes it to be valuable.
Yeah.
Right? It's a very sort of like simulacra thing. Like Jean Baudrillard talked about how in a postmodern society, a lot of things will essentially become copies with no original, and that's essentially what an NFT is. It's like a copy with no original because it has no basis for its value. It is created out of thin air.
That's a very beautifully tied idea right there.
Yeah, it's a simulacra. It is literally like Bitcoins are fundamentally, anything on a blockchain is fundamentally a simulacra when you start trading with it. But And I can understand that with a Jackson Pollock, but I think when you look at a Jackson Pollock in real life, these things are huge.
The
They
thing
took a
about
lot of
Jackson
effort to
Pollock is
make.
that you can still look at it and you feel there's some originality to it. There is something underneath
That's
it.
Yeah. And also, you can appreciate the physicality of the damn thing. It
Yeah.
is gigantic. It took a lot of time to make. You can analyze the texture of the paint. There's something there,
Yeah.
right? There's something interesting about how liberating it must have been to just make something like that, and then you finally get to see it in real life and how visceral it is to look at. So it has an original, but none of this shit on NFT has originals. Not really. You can trust the blockchain to sustain some original link that eventually gives the whole thing its value. But at the end of the
Some
day, now I don't know what this is. Yeah, it's all just. I
it
don't know
feels like a
what
nothing.
discussion. I don't know. It feels like a bit of a nothing, right? You know what I think? I think Gary Vee should be an NFT of himself.
Yeah.
Like Gary Vee should be an NFT,
Yeah.
right? Because he's basically marketing for marketing's sake. So he should turn himself into an NFT and sell that.
I'm pretty sure that
And
the
I think it would be the most appropriate.
Carmen Electra did that.
Really?
Carmen
She
Electra,
sold
there's
herself as an NFT.
she sold. There's a picture of her holding her tits up and says like, "Turn,
Oh,
I'm an NFT, and now you can like put your text on my tits and shit like that, and for like you can own this picture."
this is. I'm looking at an image of this right now,
Carmen
and I
Electra.
think to myself, yeah, I'm looking at an
It's
image
not
of
even a
this
good
right now.
picture.
This looks like a 4chan meme. What the hell?
Yeah.
What the?
The
I mean, okay.
a lot of the that like the obsessed girl, the obsessed girlfriend also sold her meme face as an NFT.
Oh, yeah,
Overly
yeah,
obsessed girlfriend and all those
yeah.
people did. My hats is off to them. That's but like trying to but bringing it back to that idea of like everything seems like a copy of a copy, and there's this sub theme of nothingness. I suppose like that's what kind of like also brings me the depression, that what I feel like my generation is lacking is that substance,
Mhm,
that genuine substance underneath anything that they have going.
mhm. Okay. In the case of the overly attached girlfriend thing, as an NFT, the original image, if you were a fan of her when she was a YouTuber, because she was, and
Yeah.
she was like, it was her, she had a nice online presence and she had a lot of fans. Like I was one of her fans because she was like really amiable and nice to be around, and it was really sad to watch her go. Like her last video was really tearful because she said that she had a love-hate relationship with the meme and a love-hate relationship with being a YouTuber. Like it was really difficult, it was really hard. It took up a lot of time. Her fame didn't do her nearly as many favors as people think it did. You know, her life was upended and whatnot. She got a lot of creepers after her and shit. Because, despite the meme, in real life, she's actually very pretty.
Yeah.
So, she gets a lot of weirdos coming after her. And, if you have all of these nostalgic feelings for the meme, for the era around the meme, for her name is Lena, for Lena as a YouTuber and as a person, then yeah, I can imagine maybe the NFT is kind of like a lovely memento
Yeah.
of those good times when YouTube wasn't so fucking toxic or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, all this other shit, it feels really cynical. It feels, it feels like an excess of money being thrown around over kitsch, right? It's very weird. I don't know.
I don't
I don't
understand
know
it
how
either,
to
man. I don't
wrap my head
understand
around
it.
it.
Her meme, it can stand by the fucking sense of nostalgia that you mentioned, and yeah, it
Yeah.
can. So it has some sort of a basis, and she wanted to make some money out of it. So God bless her. She did.
Yeah,
Understandable.
God bless. God bless.
And then there is a meme of Beeple's art. It stands because this guy, he's a good artist. He's a good 3D artist.
Yes. Yeah.
He's a good 3D artist who hasn't broke a day like without doing one. And just because of
Right.
that, like I remember following this guy like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, when he was posting dailies. And I've been
Right.
following him since. And suddenly he got $69 million for a collage of his works.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? That has something underneath it. That has some stone to stand on.
Yeah.
Because this guy grinded
Yeah.
at something.
Yeah.
I don't think like my generation, 90% of the activities that are being encouraged to do are, in a sense, a worthwhile grind. Aside from like trying, like if you tell me like Logan Paul did that, like Logan Paul turned one of his pictures into a cartoon and sold it for $300,000, and I'm like, I mean, what sort of a contribution did that guy add to the world in any way, aside from being a troll?
Yeah. Right. We stand in the shadow of our parents and our grandparents, the generations that had actual things to, protest about. And yeah, we have legitimate protests happening now too. But will we go on to actually affect true change, real change?
Yeah.
Politics, or will we just disappear into a tide of nothing at the end of the day? And that feels a little sad. Like we're setting up all of these kids to go into the corporate grinding machine, and then out comes a whole bunch of like cookie cutter shit. And is anybody gonna remember you afterwards? That's sad.
Yeah.
When we tell these kids this is what you're gonna do, right? Because all of the conventional systems have broken down. Government, politics, conventional societies all broke down. We found our gurus online. We found influencers to copy. We found, luminaries to model ourselves after. And even then, it feels fruitless and hollow. And I look at these NFTs, and we go back to the original topic. The NFT kind of like embodies this issue that is even more pressing than it ever was, and that is everybody is faking it till you make it. And the NFT, I feel, is like symbolic of that thing, of that ideology. It is trying to fake it until it makes it, and so far it's making it. Yeah. I feel like if I was ever going to be a postmodernist philosopher, that's pretty much how I would try and sum up a simulacra. It's when you're faking it to make it.
To make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you read the book?
Yeah. Jean Baudrillard's simulations. Yeah. Simulacra.
Yeah, simulation simulacra. I saw it in Matrix, and then I was looking at it. Then I tried to read it, and I was like, "Well, this is way above my pay grade."
Yeah.
This is.
See. Yeah. No, I grew up watching cyberpunk animes. Right. One of the first things I watched was like Akira and Ghost in the Shell, and the author's notes in Ghost in the Shell mentioned Baudrillard and Lyotard and all of these postmodern philosophers, because that was like the prevailing philosophy during the 1980s when cyberpunk was a thing. And I was like, I'm 13. I don't know any of this shit. I just think cyborgs wearing thongs are cool. Okay, just leave me alone. But then you realize, oh no, these guys were trying to warn us, and we didn't listen.
No, we fucking didn't. The thing is, like, I feel bad for if I ever have a kid, I feel bad for him or her. It's just that there's something that tells me like look, since the last time we spoke, we had a government change in Malaysia.
It keeps changing more times than I do in a hot day. It's ridiculous. It doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah. So we have a new government. Afghanistan got conquered.
Yeah.
Biden is forgetting he's the president.
He forgets where his feet are. Come on.
He forgets everything now. Shit.
Yeah.
But the world is in a more unstable stage. But at the same time, is like there's this. But the push on these technologies and the that sort of emptiness that has kind of engulfed modern life, in my take at least, fucking nobody is really hasn't been stopped, and it's only
No.
getting worse.
Yeah.
It's I was playing around with MetaHumans recently. There's this thing
Oh,
on
okay.
Unreal Engine called MetaHuman.
Okay.
You can go and check it out yourself. Where you actually they're trying to you can actually design a completely 3D, not only a hyper realistic human being, basically.
Right.
And I did made one, and it looks pretty good. It looks
Okay.
fairly good. It's still off a little bit. The uncanny valley is still there, but you go like, oh my god, like
Okay.
this is almost there. We're maybe maybe a year or two away from actually 100% nailing down the uncanny valley as well.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
looking at the previews. This is really impressive.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
But again, it's like I feel like that's where we're moving to, and the way with the
Yeah.
COVID-19 has kind of like engulfed our life in a way that is like your home is your prison now, and you know what? That's okay. That's the kind of a
Yeah.
norm that I'm feeling it is. They're called Paris is going to be called the 15-minute city
Oh.
because they have a program to have every district. So everything you need will be from grocery stores to entertainment be fulfilled within the 50-minute
Yeah.
radius of your house. So there's no real
Right.
need for you to go above, go further than your 15-minute mark.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no need for you to go to the office because there's no need for the office anymore. You can do it from home, right? It's permanent now. No need to hire a foreigner because you can get them from remote. Hey, you can pay them less.
Yeah.
In your home where you have your shower and everything set up for you. No need for go out and date. You have online dating. So there is this very incredibly weird superficiality that's happening that's scaring me, actually, followed with this new world order shit of whatever the fuck it is. And I know that like even by saying it you'd be deemed a conspiracy theorist, but I'm sorry to say, judging by the way I'm seeing everything unfolding, it's it has already happened. It's already here. It's not a new world order. It's just a world order now. I feel like it's just we're pretty much fucked for life. For the next generation are going to have it tougher. Nobody's going to go out. There won't be need for comedy clubs. You're going to have to do it online.
That's the fear. Yeah.
You don't need to have sex with your girl. You can do it online with a fucking sex doll hooked up to a VR machine.
So there's three things that popped up into my head when you mentioned all of this, right? Because that's how my brain works. So first thing that came into my head was the dude who basically won SimCity 3000, which shouldn't be possible, but he did. He created a city on SimCity 3000 that completely maximized every single amount of space and every single amount of every single resource, every single living room, every single working space, and it achieved 100% efficiency and 100% occupancy, right?
Shit. Okay.
You can look it up. This thing is called Magna Santi.
Magna Santi.
Yeah, it was created from as early as 2010, and then they made a document, and then they like made a documentary out of it called The Road to Magna Santi, and it became sort of like a commentary on like hellish consequences of top-down civil design. And the way how he designed the city was that every single living space was directly connected to every single working space. So the people didn't even have to leave their beds. They would go from their beds straight to the working space and then back home.
That's
how he achieved,
me.
6 billion. Exactly. That's what happened. We are finding ourselves within like a Magna Santi kind of world right now, because I literally roll out of bed, walk down the stairs into where I work, right? And it is very efficient, but it's also a very kind of hellish way to live. Like the quality of life is terrible. And The people had there's no art, there's no sense of expression. It's really bad. At the same time, I was thinking about that movie Surrogates, which was based on the graphic novel, right? Because you're talking about how you know, you won't have to even fuck your girlfriend anymore. You can do it with like, if she's got a real doll of you in the living room, you can just fuck her via 5G across the world,
Yeah.
and you can sort of fulfill that, right? That's another thing that sort of because when I first saw Surrogates on TV, my family was like, this is the shittiest movie in the world. Like, this is a really
That's the
lousy
Bruce
sci-fi
Willis
movie.
film, right?
That's the Bruce Willis film where everybody basically just
His
experiences
wife is a
life through
robot. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because everybody's experiencing like their surrogate through Android proxies. But I'm looking at that, I'm going, oh, yeah, no, could all of you? I never do this to my family. I'm like, could all of you just shut up for a second? Because I'm seeing something here, and it concerns me. Right? Like that little part of my brain where the instinct is like, for the 50th time, listen to me, you asshole, is shouting extra loud that day. And I guess it's because maybe I knew this was coming. Maybe one of these days this is going to be a symbolic of what we're going through. And the last NVIDIA figured out a way how to make deepfake technology enhance the visuals for to present people on video conferencing right now. Your Zoom calls, your Skypes, your Google Meets, you can already use a deepfake avatar for your video conferencing now.
Yeah.
And it started because NVIDIA figured out we can now use a deepfake to synthetically complete a poor image via that would other that would otherwise be into something that's more lifelike, because usually the video conferencing images have a lot of loss, they're grainy, they lose frame rate. But if we can use a deepfake, we can make the person look better on screen. But then it's a hop and a skip away from like putting a fake version of yourself on screen that no one can tell is fake.
Yeah. No one.
And and that goes, and now you're telling me about the metahuman thing on Unreal, and I'm like, they've made progress on this shit. Okay, yeah. I'm concerned now. And then I got to thinking about, have you ever played Deus Ex?
Yeah.
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 I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but let's just say some people. One of the characters basically looks like she's always teleconferencing with people, but it turns out she was never real to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's where it's gonna head. Where it's gonna head right now. You've seen the Blade Runner 2040. What was it? 2048.
2049.
2049.
Yeah.
The last one. He has this apparatus in his house where it projects this female girlfriend who cares for him and loves him. Yeah. That is not far away from happening. It's already happening. People are falling in love with their game characters, which is great. Yeah. But then but there are some people who fall in love with the game character.
Yeah.
And there are people who would go way past it. But now imagine with having all the AI that's developing right now.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, it's not that far. Like I played with a few prototype AIs. They respond back to you. Yeah. Not perfect, but they can talk back to a certain degree. Now that was like 2 years ago. Since 2 years has passed, I'm pretty sure it has been quadrupled in its strength and accuracy. So now you can actually possibly, if I just attach that AI, because making a 3D model was a difficult thing. Now you actually can make a 3D model by just snapping a few pictures together. Yeah. And make it look like what MetaHumans is doing. And then attach a fucking AI to it where it responds to you, knows what you like, and goes in accordance to that. then I
Mm.
will have zero need to have a real relationship in my real life.
Yeah.
Basically, my entire life would be that kind of a matrix thing. But at the same time, I'll be that I'm just that egg on the top of a shelf that's just rolling to its death, finally to hit the
Yeah.
fucking pavement.
So we've gone from faking it till you make it to the whole world now faking it and making it at the same time. And that's a
Yeah,
bit scary, right? Because we started out this podcast with the idea that everybody was faking it until they make it. And I think what happened was that ethic somehow infected how we do technology, and now faking it and making it is all we can do.
yeah, yeah.
And that's a little bit, that's a little bit,
Disappointing.
yeah, just a little bit. Like, remember when technology was supposed to enhance
Yeah,
what we were? Like the augmentations, the transhumanist movement, the pursuit for outer space that didn't involve millionaires using their money to flex on other billionaires, and it was about building civilization in space. Shit that was optimistic. Like technology was optimistic, but now I think what's really happened is that technology has simply exposed and amplified some of the most empty and toxic elements of us.
yeah.
The social media, the everything, everything. It's like the pandemic. I keep telling my friends, all the pandemic does is simply expose and amplify all of the weaknesses you have in your institutions. And I think at some level, technology will do the same thing. Talking about science fiction being really optimistic. Recently, I was chatting with Kiran,
Mm.
and Kiran Baladevan, who's like the angriest comedian in Malaysia. He's a huge nerd, gigantic nerd, and he's got very strong opinions about film and media because he's a film student, right? And he told me, go ahead and watch the first 5 minutes of Valerian, the movie, right?
Wow, Luc Besson.
Luc Besson. Uh, the rest of the movie is neither here nor there, but just watch the first 5 minutes.
Mm.
I'm like, okay. And my dude, this is some of the most optimistic, heartwarming shit I have seen in science fiction in my entire life, even more than all of the episodes of Star Trek, even the ones with Jean-Luc Picard. It's just it's just people hooking up with the space station and shaking hands
Mm.
over countless decades. First was the Soviets with the Americans, and then it was the Europeans and the British and the Japanese and the Chinese, and everybody just shaking hands. And then the space station keeps growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And then the aliens come, and then they learn to shake hands as well. And then more alien comes, and it grows and grows until finally the space station gets so big it can't sustain itself in orbit anymore. So it just fires up its rocket boosters and flies to outer space to start a new civilization somewhere. And I think that was one of the most beautiful expressions of technology bringing out the best in people, I
Yeah.
feel. And we're not going to get there by just telling kids to hustle.
No.
I don't think so.
The lack of substance in what's required of me to do, every one of us nowadays to do to sustain a life. The extreme lack of substance in it. And also the surrounding environment that causes that actually supports the structure. Which is like surrounding environment would include your teachers, your parents, your mentors, and everybody else you meet.
Right.
All of them are now pretty much non-existent to a good degree. The parents are there, God bless them, great.
Yeah.
This brother, Jordan Peterson, was talking about this, and it's like, I feel like there's a lack of father figure that is going to actually like tell you what you really fucking need in your life. That's going to take interest in you. People who I admire, who I actually like looked at their life, and They always
Yeah.
bump into a father figure. And this is not somebody have a daddy issue. This is just that other second father that people meet in general heroic
Yeah.
journey that people the hero's journey that the
Right.
people meet that is going to show you the ropes and tell you what you need to do and what
Yeah.
to achieve. But the thing is like everything is lacks so much substance that I feel like the next generation will not even have a father figure. That's why
I
a lot of
mean,
people looked
that's
at Jordan Peterson. Like a lot of people looked at Jordan Peterson because they didn't have anybody to tell them to get your fucking life together. He wasn't telling you to hustle. He was telling you to, hey, look, you're
yeah.
this is your shit. You better fucking take care of your own shit before you try to tell me if your pronouns are right or wrong. Because clearly your life is nothing at the moment, so you're not really qualified to do anything.
But there's also this danger in, putting too much stake in a role model, because
Yeah,
the same people who would have gone and listened to Jordan Peterson would go on, who were in desperate need of a role model, who really needed somebody to show them the ropes of life, went to Gary Vee,
yeah,
went into a cult, and it's been happening since forever. And that's kind of sad too. You need your role models. You need to pick and choose them, and you need to pick the right ones for you. For some people it could be Jordan Peterson, and for people who need to do marketing, maybe Gary Vee is perfect for you. But for the rest of us, we really need to pick and choose, and I think that can be very difficult. Picking somebody to use it as an example, and maybe you can't just have one. You're going to need several. You know, I'm reminded of fish. This is going to be a weird tangent, but
go
bear
ahead.
with me. So there were regulations on fishing where if the fish was below a certain size, you'd have to throw it back into the ocean, and then only fish the ones that are big, so that you let the new generation of fish grow and then they don't go extinct. But what they realized was that these newer fish that were growing to size were starting to get really easy to catch. And a lot of them were not even surviving to the size that you needed to catch them to. And so they wonder why, because all we're doing is catching the big fish. But as it turns out, in schooling fish, the big fish are usually there to guide the other fish on the safest routes to travel, on which places to find food, which places to avoid predators. And they weren't doing it directly like human beings, but by following the big fish who had already knew how to survive up to this point, the other fish could follow these bigger fish and could have a better rate of survival. So they had to really rethink, biologists like in the Pacific Ocean, I think, had to really rethink about how to tell fishermen what fish to catch. Because, yeah, you could not kill the smaller ones so that the species doesn't go extinct. But if you constantly catching the bigger ones, the smaller ones simply won't have role models. And it's true for fucking fish, to say nothing of species like us, you know? It's,
Shit. Never saw
yeah,
that. Wow, okay.
yeah. Fish. Fucking fish need role models. And you think, and they're not the brightest creatures on earth. They're smarter than we think they are, you know, but they're not particularly advanced. But even they need role models. Even they need a template with which to build their lives. Some of us just have to figure it out from scratch, and we can get really waylaid, you know, by trying desperately to pursue role models that perhaps we don't have the leverage to pursue, and that can be really bad. And perhaps the reason is because, you know our role models, the people we're following, are not role models, they're influencers.
Yeah,
Basically,
pretty much.
they are manufactured to influence people, and we think they're role models, and it's not great.
I don't see any other role models nowadays. Like I don't see any. At least I don't see it. Maybe once they die, you would see them, because that's usually sometimes how it goes. that
Yeah.
once a person passes away, you hear about them.
Right.
Where I'm a huge fan of Henry Miller,
Yeah.
a
Really,
huge
Henry
fan.
Miller.
Yeah, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn.
Yeah.
I didn't read Sexus, and
Yeah.
whoever is to two of you who's listening out there, Tropic of Cancer, start with Tropic of Cancer, then read Tropic of Capricorn, and then read Paris 1928, I think.
Yeah.
And those three are very good books. And you can also read his book on writing, which is inspirational if you want to be a writer.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's basically this Yankee doodle American dude who goes to Paris and suddenly gets exposed to another whole another world, and he
Yeah.
wants to be a writer. And then the book that in particular he I want to talk about was his book about his time in Paris. And the time that he went to Paris also correlate with the time that Carl Jung, Gurdjieff, Freud, fucking Hitler.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well.
But all these like heads, all these minds in the world, and fucking that was Stalin. Is like it was he was born in a time in the world that it seemed like, at least to my eyes, doors were open everywhere, and everybody went everywhere, and there was this movement of minds going on.
Right.
And every person that I read about from that time who belonged in that era, especially Jung, or Gurdjieff, for example, who is a spiritual leader from Armenia. I don't know if you heard of him. Very particular spiritual leader who talks about being awake, because you're in reality, you're not a real human, you're an automaton.
Right.
And you need to awake yourself through different exercises and different things. One of his followers asks him, I've chose to be an architect and I can't be. And he says, have you ever considered if the profession chose you? It might be pretentious in some senses, but the thing is, like, maybe that thing didn't chose you. But there's this whole idea about like how ideas are the ones that get you, not you. You're not the one who get them. Maybe you're not meant for something that you do, but it's like there's all these people who are extremely admirable, who were living back then, going everywhere. And I'm just seeing less and less of them today.
I don't know why. Funny you mentioned this, maybe the profession chose you, because that's exactly what Charles Bukowski said. The writer,
Bukowski,
the poet.
Yeah. Actually, I just got another book of his. Yeah.
Yeah. He had this. I think I'll go to my grave remembering this, which is ironic because the quote is on his grave, and it's don't try. Yeah.
Don't try.
Don't try.
Yeah.
It's a very Zen thing to say,
It is.
Blue collar poet, yeah. But it's.
I don't think like you and I will be able to 100% grasp it, but because he lived it.
Yeah.
I assume he lived it, but I think he did. Interesting film with that guy. The first quote I ever encountered from him was, "Find what you love and let it kill you."
Oh.
It's like, whew, okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, I got a call from somebody who said they wanted me to be in a writer's room for like a radio station. And I said no because I already got this job. And my friend was like telling me off and saying, you're talking about this. And then you tell me you said no because you already got this 9 to 5. And when you're talking about this, I don't hear a single hint of doubt in your capability to do this. And also, it is the happiest and most excited I've heard you be in years. And I told my friend, I said I would do this shit for free if I could. But I don't care if I go broke. I wanna be in that writer's room with other comedians and write shit for this radio station, because anything to get back into a writer's room. with my friends who are funny and create stuff that gets out there, I would do it for free.
Yeah,
I would let it kill me.
there you go.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. And you said no to it. Shit.
And that's why my friend was angry at me because
I'm
why the
angry at you,
fuck-
but I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. So I frantically called this dude back and I'm like, okay, look, I know, okay, look, the notice period for my current job right now is 3 months, probably negotiable. If I say yes, how long would the radio station be willing to wait? And he said, and how much would it pay? And the dude says, I don't know, but I'll send your name in and then you can ask them the questions yourself. I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
This was recent.
This was just a few days ago.
So you'll be hearing from them.
Hopefully.
I hope so too. Keep in touch with that dude. Dude, I want you to do that. I want you to do that thing that makes you happy and actually gonna harness that energy that you have to fucking get your life up, get your mood up. Because nothing feels like one of Conan finished his show on TBS, and he's one of my favorite late night hosts because he was true to his his sketches were funny. He was true to his craft. He would always put the guests in front and push them forward. Comedians love them for that. They could go and shit everywhere and he's gonna be there, and they knew he would protect them.
Yes.
And at the end of his show, Conan said, if you do what you love with the people that you love, it's going to be the definition of heaven on earth.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I want that. Exactly that.
Yeah.
And like he has the brain and the passion to go forward with a lot of different things. And he's extremely down to earth, but he knows what it is. And I want you, I hope that you can have that as well, that you do the thing that you love with the people that you love, because nothing is going to feel better.
Yeah, I imagine, because I feel better in my life just talking about it. Like, all of this stress and anxiety, all the weight. When I just talk about it, I feel light. I feel light.
Yeah. And that's what I hope to get in my life as well. He said that when he was broke, he was eating pancakes for lunch. I don't know where. He was trying to land a job, I think. And he said I almost said it out loud. I hope whatever I do to be interesting. Yeah. Which is the least you can ask for something. Is like, if it's something that is of interest, that there is this substance to it. Again, we're going back to having something that has substance. Something that has a little bit of a foundation to it. It's not an empty shell. Yeah. It feels good to have that. It does. That's something that is like, you can like... you mentioned that's why we do comedy. It is the most truthful and it's almost, you're doing a profession that is on the ground. It's honest because you're doing it, and if you're lying, you'll be called out on by the crowd. Yeah. And you have to be in the present. You can't think about the future, the past. No, you're the most present right there and then. Almost like you're in a flight or fight mode. It's just heart is racing. You're looking, you're receiving something that is genuine. Yeah. And you're dealing with it. And to be having the privilege of replicating that throughout the other aspects of your life, that's a true bliss. That is. Even at its worst, it's still pretty good. It's like cold pizza. Even when it's bad, it's still kind of good. Yeah, pizza never lets you down. There's something about it. Really? Yeah. Even bad pizza is good pizza. Yeah. You have to really fuck up a pizza for it to be a bad pizza. You have to like smuggle it in your sweaty pants, drop it on the ground a little. And even then, if you don't tell anybody, put fish. And even then, if you don't tell anybody what you did to it and they eat it, they're still going to think it tastes okay. Yeah, you put some ketchup on it and it tastes fine.
Yeah, some chili powder, maybe some whatever, and then you're like, yeah, no, I just heated this on like a hot pipe that leads to the radiator outside of my house. I think a rat crawled over it. Anyway,
Anyway,
breakfast,
want a bite? But
and
speaking
you
of,
eat it, and you're like, you know what?
I had the Crack House pizza, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's good shit.
Yeah, I got
Really
the
thin. Yeah,
Mary had the big one, and the
yeah.
margarita and the
Yeah,
fries. Yeah, it was
yeah.
good. It was good. It was a
It was
good
good. It's
bar
not
pizza.
bad. Yeah,
It was a good
it's
bar
really
pizza.
good.
Like if we go there, this is what I want in a comedy show
Yeah,
with a beer. That's
exactly. Yeah,
that's what it tastes like.
it's not getting in the way. It's not difficult to eat. You could have like you just keep munching, and it's not gonna get you too full. It's a lovely snack.
Got a nice crunch
Um,
to it. I love it.
got a
It
nice
doesn't
crunch to it.
disappoint.
Yeah, doesn't disappoint. Yeah, and it's coming out of a comedy club of all things.
Yeah,
That's really saying something.
yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, last thing, there's a comic book I'm getting into. It's called Transmetropolitan.
Oh shit! Yeah, I know of Transmetropolitan certainly. Yeah,
You read it? Shit.
I haven't read it yet, but I know about it. I know its significance. I know about Spider Jerusalem. I know about that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, that guy resembles our inner fucking animal of the willing to. He's basically a knockoff of Hunter S. Thompson.
Right. Yeah. Now that you mention it,
Yeah.
it seems pretty obvious now. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a basically blatant knockoff of Hunter S. Thompson, who
Yeah.
has this. He has a rage against the machine, and he has that
Yeah.
thing of like he's a journalist who would kick through the door and would fucking make. He has a gun that will prolapse your asshole. He finds Nixon and shoots him. Like he's not Nixon, but the dude looks
Yeah.
like Nixon, exactly like a
Yeah.
copy of like he's a president, and he
Yeah.
puts the gun to the prolapse mode and prolapse the president's asshole. But it talks about if I feel like we're all reaching that point of really wanting to have that visceral reaction to what the world is really feeding us and
Yeah.
try to explode out of it to fuck
Yeah.
it out of our system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think fuck it out of our system is the right analogy.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a little bit.
It's not a
Yeah.
pleasurable fuck either. It's just
No.
it's just
It's just
sweat and thrust and
yeah. Yeah. Where do I put this chainsaw dildo into my soul? Which one?
Anal beast, chainsaw anal.
Yeah, the C4 butt plug. Which part of my soul asshole do I slam this shit into? Because there's some shit in here I want to get rid of. Yeah.
All right. Let's bring
Right.
this to an end, my friend. Let's bring this to
Yeah,
an
let's
end.
do this. Yeah.
This was fun. Nice catching up with you. I think both of us had a
Yeah.
cathartic conversation.
Yeah.
Hope this was good for you. What was the
this
thing that you
was-
wanted to
this-
plug?
I'm doing an online show on October 1st on Putix Live with Prakash and Rizman.
PTX Live.
So it's an hour-long show. The rest of it is like a variety show, but it'll be the three of us, and we will be performing. Hopefully, a bunch of new materials coming out. Otherwise, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
You know. But the other two, they're resolute performers. Prakash is a resolute performer. Prakash Daniel, Indian Jesus, and Rizman. He's young, but he's got spunk. Usually
And-
all over
and a
his
huge
sheets
hog.
because, yes, a huge cock. Yeah. He's been on the podcast before. He's a delightful
Lovely
little
guy.
fuckling. Yeah.
The Bushman
I
of the
think you'll-
Kalahari.
Yeah. Fucking Auschwitz survivor looking motherfucker. He's so skinny. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's
Somehow
gonna be
the
a lot of
hunger
fun to
didn't
listen
affect
to.
his cock.
No, no, no. If anything, I think the reason why he's so skinny is because the cocks suck up all the nutrients. That's why. He's really just a human cock with a body attached at this
Yeah.
point.
Who is the driver here? The cock or the brain? That is the
It's
question.
it's it's still the brain, but it's too afraid to talk back.
does the cock has Rizman or Rizman has the cock? I don't
No, no, the cock has Rizman. He's a hostage of his own cock at this
know.
point. He doesn't even know what to do with it. It's just there, just chilling, just staring menacingly at him across the room.
Yeah.
And he has to just go along with whatever the cock wants. But the cock doesn't seem to want much. So Rizman's just waiting. Like, what does he want from me? What does my dick want from me? So just staring there menacingly. Yeah,
Jeez.
he's a lot of fun. Uh,
So a show
he's
with
done a
him.
lot of show with him, show with Prakash, and then it's me on October 1st in PTX Live.
Nice. I'll
Yeah.
see you guys then for sure.
All right. Okay, cool. Thanks.
This was a visceral conversation. This was a
Yeah, it was very intense.
yeah.
Yeah, but shit we needed to get off our chest, I think. Considering we live in the year our Lord left us, 2021.
Yeah.
Now it's coming towards an end. It's already September. Holy shit.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
2 years of our
Yeah.
life down the toilet. Shit.
Yeah. It will
Anally
soon
raped.
be. Yeah. It'll soon be what? 2 decades since 9/11. That's really saying something.
The year of our Lord, 9/11.
The year, yeah. The year
My favorite
of our
day.
Lord. Yeah. Oh my God. Gonna get
My
yeah.
favorite day after Christmas. To all the
man.
Americans, I'm sorry. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
It's just that
I am,
guys-
but I'm not.
Yeah. It's just that you guys never knew what it's like to turn into a geopolitical pariah overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, you should try it. It's a trip.
Yeah. Let's have a 9/11 special.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, hey, fuck it. They already called me a terrorist, so might as well
Yeah.
lean into it.
Fuck it, do it. Yeah.
Okay, man.
Alright.
Go get some
Alright.
sleep. I'll talk with you
Yeah.
on 9/11. Tune back to
Yes.
Persian Perspective on 9/11. Exclusive content.
Oh my God.
What would you do if you were on the plane?
Yeah. I don't know, motherfucker. Die maybe? Jeez. Oh man.
You know what was the pilot's last words?
What?
I had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucker.
Man, fuck you. Fuck you. Oh God.
I
Still
can't
with the
believe I
snake
got-
jokes.
I-
Oh my.
Okay, I'll end it with this. So I called this guy at the night, 1:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
because I heard that they found a black box of Malaysian MH370.
Yeah. I was stunned, shocked, excited.
Yeah, he was stunned, shocked, excited that I'm gonna give him the truth. He thought
I was
telling the
Googling
truth.
it like crazy, like what the fuck is going on? Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." You know what the
Mm-hmm.
pilot's last words were? What? I've
Yeah.
had it with these motherfucking snakes and this motherfucking plane.
King shit of fuck mountain or king fuck of shit mountain. I don't even know anymore.
I've never.
He got
so
you
mad.
asshole.
You got so mad. You got so mad.
I was trying to watch a movie, you asshole. You put me through this emotional roller coaster for nothing.
Ah,
Nothing.
I was laughing. I was crying for an hour before when then I had to share it with you, and I crying for an hour after.
Oh my god, I
My
was.
girlfriend almost hung up on me when I told her that.
Oh my god! Because I already went down the MH370 rabbit hole doing research about it for like a podcast or some shit. So when you got me news about it, this is the big break. This is the big break. We're gonna know what really happened. And then you land me a Samuel L. Jackson movie line, and you know what? You know what? Go fuck yourself. Fuck you.
Fuck you. I didn't need this shit.
At 1:30 in the morning, man, go fuck yourself. Oh my god, the things I do for friends. Oh my god.
Enough for that. Enjoy the
Alright.
podcast, you degenerates. Talk to you guys
Yeah.
later. See you guys on
Yeah.
9/11. Bye bye.
Bye bye.